All right, this year it's pretty cool. Cisco Live goes global. So I want you to take a second, wave and say hi to everybody all around the globe watching Cisco Live 2021. Let's go.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free, freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm freer than I've ever been before.
All right, day one was pretty amazing, but wait till you see what we have for you guys. Day two, Cisco Live 2021. Let's turn it up.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright.
All right, in the meantime, I'm DJ Nick. Enjoy some tunes. The program is going to be coming up real soon. Let's turn it up. Let's have some fun.
Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm freer than I've ever been before.
All right, get pumped because it's time to turn it up. All right, I hope you're ready and I hope you're excited. We're going to get started here in just a few moments. All right, stick around. The program will begin in just a few short minutes. All right, we have an amazing show coming up for you, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to Cisco Live. We had a great day yesterday, and we thank you all so much for engaging and leaning in. The journey continues today with a deeper dive into collaboration, customer experience, and our Cisco purpose. But first, let's start by hearing from you, our great customers. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with leaders from Ford, Nomura, and BBVA to talk about some of the lessons learned from the pandemic and the future of work. Let's take a look.
Hi, everybody. So, Jason, Carmen, Patrick, thank you so much for being here. All three of you are thought leaders. The challenges that you are working through are top of mind for every single one of our attendees. So let's start. More than a year ago, almost to the day, we started in this pandemic. And I'd love to know, what is the one thing that you wish you knew before the pandemic began? And what's the one thing that you personally will take away from this last year? Patrick, can I start with you?
Oh my God, yeah. What a great question. So the one thing I wish I would have known before the pandemic is for all of the excellent strategy and planning we've done, for all of the scenario planning, to have prior knowledge that, you know what, your whole world's going to get turned upside down, and the things you think are just something you will not support are going to be the norm. The one thing I will take away from it is, no matter how confident you are in what you think is going to happen, this world will enforce its will on you. And going forward, there's literally nothing off the table. It's just a whole new environment these days.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Patrick. Carmen, what about you?
Well, it's a really good question with a very difficult answer because, at the beginning we faced the challenge as a temporary one, but after 2-3 months we realized that this was the new normal. I think that no one were prepared for a large-scale remote scenario. So even though we managed to move the most of our central services to work remotely, but we know now that we should evolve all of our technology to a full remote scenario by default.
I completely agree. Jason, what about you?
I think the one thing I wish, and this is, again, hindsight's 2020, but the one thing I wish we had some insight into going into something like a pandemic is the effect on people and your staff, right? One of the big challenges we had was, basically everyone, hit COVID head on from an enterprise perspective, tried to recover the business, put the position in a great position. But now, we're dealing with the human factors effect, right? Burnout, how people can effectively compartmentalize their lives, personal versus professional, right?
I completely agree with you. Wait till the studies are performed post-pandemic to see what it really has done to the psyche and even the physical being of some of our folks and some of our employees that we're worried about, right? I'll give you a little bit of a study. It said, according to McKinsey, companies are going to reduce their total physical space by 30% moving forward. So we're going to use this as a chance, as you said, to really rethink our office experience, what it could be and what it should be, right? The role of the physical office will play a part, obviously, in our operations, in our culture, in how we recruit talent to the company. So how are you thinking about it? How's Nomura thinking about it?
I still think the office is going to have a major play within the financial services community. But that being said, I think it will transform. I think the dynamic of front office, middle office, back office, corporate functions, a lot of corporate functions, especially IT, there will be a focus to be hybrid, right? So that the folks that are in the office are driving a lot of the front office agenda, a lot of the kind of support functions, will be something that's likely looked at in a remote scenario.
Agree. Patrick, what are you saying at Ford?
When you go to the hybrid environment, when you go in on Monday, you may be sitting in a different spot when you come back in on Tuesday, just because of the way all this is going to work. And so the challenge for all of us is going to be, how do you create that experience of man, I enjoy going into work, even though I might be in a different space. This is my spot. I have I feel comfortable. I feel safe. I feel secure. And I have the opportunity to interact with my colleagues in a way that is going to drive us forward in this new environment.
Completely agree. Carmen, how are you approaching it at BBVA?
For us, physical workplace, working in our buildings is very important. Is an important element in our culture. So we think that we need to evolve those layouts. Instead of having personal spaces, we are modifying to create new spaces for collaboration.
I told you before that Cisco Live is our chance to celebrate the people that make our businesses run, our IT teams, the engineers, the developers. These folks were our heroes this last year, and they've been challenged in completely new ways, but they came through. They showed up. They were our frontline workers here in our business. Any specific stories and examples that you want to share where your IT teams went above and beyond? Carmen, I'm going to start with you. Who are your heroes at BBVA?
Well, our heroes were able to deploy from scratch in the cloud many different solutions. So to give you some examples, in 2 weeks, and from scratch, that's incredible, we were able to deploy in a public cloud more than 3,000 virtual desktops for all those employees that were not, didn't have a mobile device. We were able to deploy more than 7,000 VPN access as well in the public cloud, and increase our contact center capacity for all those sales reps that were in a branch, and we have to move them to home work.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. Jason, who are the heroes at Nomura?
I've been in financial services since, the tragedies with 9/11 and so forth. And a lot of it hit the same New York City community that had to respond again in times of duress in an area that unfortunately was one of the hot spots of really such a sad situation. Really, it's, I would have to commend our IT organization from the very groundwork of our desktop engineers and support staff all the way up through some design and developers who are focused on taking financial services technology and making it work at the home. I think everyone really rallied together in a time of great duress to keep the business going.
Patrick, your heroes at Ford.
Yeah. Wow. What a question. And I feel compelled to represent the entire Ford family here and keep it together in this answer. We are a 100-plus-year-old company, and it means a lot to the Ford Motor Company to give back to the world. And when we went into creating the PPEs, the ventilators, et cetera, what everybody did, especially in the early stages of the global pandemic, to come in and ensure we had the capability to do that, again, to do it safely, securely, and take care of our people. But the response we got back from, whether it be first responders who got access to this equipment, the personal interactions you had when, I didn't go out a lot, but when I did and people would see the Ford logo on the face mask, it's just the response you get from the community around how much that meant to them. That's the biggest thing I'll take away from this. I mean, we're all part of a much bigger endeavor here than just our own individual companies, and that response was just overwhelming, and it still gets to me today. So that's the biggest thing.
That's awesome. Thank you, Patrick. Look, I can see and feel the pride that each of you have for your teams and the gratitude that you feel. And we are grateful to all of them as well for everything that they did during this pandemic. And Cisco Live Global is all about education, inspiration, and celebration. So thank you so much for being with us today so that we can celebrate the heroes, celebrate our community. And please be safe, please be well. And I'm so grateful to have you as customers. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your confidence that you place in us. Thanks for being such great partners. Be well, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Jason, Carmen, and Patrick for the great conversation. And a special shout out to the heroes at Ford, BBVA, and Nomura for all the work you did to keep those 3 great companies up and running during the pandemic. My biggest takeaway from that conversation is that the future of work is undoubtedly hybrid. It is not just a technology story. It's about creating the right employee experience and driving new behaviors in the company. How do we create office environments that are safe, collaborative, and productive? How do we level the playing field for remote workers, ensuring they're on equal footing with everyone else in the meeting? And how can we use tools like real-time translation to make the future of work more inclusive? These are important questions, and our next speaker has a very clear point of view. Please welcome Jeetu Patel.
Hey, thanks, Jerry. And thank you immensely to our customers for sharing your great insights with us. We're so grateful that Cisco could be there as your trusted partner, and that WebEx played a small role in not only your business continuity efforts, but also helping you innovate faster. Now, our vision at WebEx is to empower 3 billion digital workers on the planet to participate equally in a global economy, regardless of their geography or language preference or personality type or tech proficiency level. As we all know, opportunity is pretty unevenly distributed in the world, but human potential is not. And it's clear that technology can play a really big role in leveling the playing field. This is one of the things that we get really excited about at Cisco. Now, as you look back at the past year for all of us, the world has completely changed. And we surprised ourselves at how resilient we all are as a community to get through it. But what I'm about to tell you now is that it's going to change yet again one more time. People will demand choice and flexibility on where and how they work. Now, as we prepare for yet another change in the world, the question that most commonly gets asked is, what will the future of work actually look like? We know definitively that the future of work is going to be hybrid. Sometimes people are going to work from the office, sometimes people are going to work from home, and sometimes in places in between. One thing is clear, wherever you are working from, we want to make sure as WebEx that we're by your side to enable secure, inclusive, collaborative experiences for you. Now, let me share an example that's a great example to power these kind of collaborative connections. CVS Health, an American healthcare company, is now administering COVID-19 vaccines in more than 1,300 stores and 35 states and Puerto Rico as part of the federal retail pharmacy program. It will have capacity to administer 20 to 25 million shots per month as it expands into additional states and as the supply of vaccines starts to ramp up. Now, WebEx has been one tool that helps CVS prepare to deliver COVID-19 vaccinations in the community, enabling the team to deliver virtual introductory training sessions for their pharmacy techs. Now, we designed the all-new WebEx to make missions exactly like these possible. We completely tried to reimagine how to bring together calling, messaging, meetings, and more into a single app that empowers people to work together seamlessly from anywhere. Now, here's a great video that our amazing marketing team put together to show you what's really possible with WebEx. Let's take a look. You know, we all love that video. And it's only scratching the surface of all the innovation that the team has been delivering. In fact, we've delivered over 400 features just since September. Now, I don't have time to show you all of the 400 features today. Let me walk you through some of my personal favorites. And the first one is really personal to me because my mother barely speaks any English. If we want to make sure that the world becomes an inclusive place, language literally can't be a barrier for the future of work. We innovated an amazing capability for real-time language translation from English to over 108 different languages today. This completely levels the playing field for everyone. And in this very important area of translations, know that we're just getting started. There's so much more to come that we're excited to bring to you. Now, one of the things I'm also really excited about is our intent to acquire Slido. Their audience engagement platform is truly a breakthrough technology that can even make the largest meetings become interactive by getting real-time participation from attendees, so they feel more like conversations rather than just lectures given to people. We'll be deeply embedding Slido into the WebEx experience for things like surveys or gauging audience reactions, so on and so forth. You also have our commitment here that we'll keep Slido also open to other technologies like Zoom or Microsoft or Google. But this brings me to a larger point, which is that we fundamentally believe in an open, vibrant ecosystem. This is why we're investing so much in making sure that whatever application you want to use as a customer and a user, you can use it with WebEx. You should be able to use other applications from within the WebEx experience, and you should also be able to use WebEx embedded into those other applications. And this commitment for this bi-directional integration is very unique to WebEx. Now, all the attention in the past year has been around this notion of video. But one of the most important and natural ways and inclusive ways that people have been communicating is around calling. Now, calling is as much of a networking problem as it is a software problem. And we're uniquely positioned to give you the most reliable experience for calling. Cisco, after all, is the market leader, powering 6 billion calls per month. But we're not stopping there. We've been adding more and more innovation to the WebEx app to enhance the calling experience. For example, you can now use WebEx to call anyone from any device, from anywhere, using your business number. You can even instantly turn a phone call into a video call. Now, we're the only cloud calling provider delivering this enhanced calling experience in the cloud, on premises, and in a hybrid deployment. Our calling technology is also a great infrastructure foundation for helping with our contact center offering, which is a core pillar of great customer experiences, a prerequisite for brand loyalty. Now, our teams have been relentlessly innovating on a customer experience as a service offering, built with an all-new cloud-native contact center that we talked about in December at WebEx One. But it's not just our own innovations that I'm particularly excited about. I'm also really excited about the additions we've made to the Cisco family. We recently acquired IMI Mobile to deliver a full omni-channel experience of capabilities for customers so that regardless of how a customer contacts you, whether it's a chatbot or text or a WhatsApp message or a call or any other channel that the customer wants to go out and use, the agent has full context and history of the interactions to help provide speedy resolution and a delightful customer experience. But we don't want to stop there. We know that truly magical experiences happen when hardware and software capabilities are elegantly fused together. Now, we're one of the few companies that's lucky enough in the world that not only works with an open ecosystem of hardware providers, but also works with our own line of hardware devices for both office and the home. And we introduced a brand new line of devices in December at the WebEx One event. First, we introduced the WebEx Desk Camera for those of us who dislike poor quality laptop cameras. It delivers a superior 4K quality video resolution that works marvelously well with low lighting conditions as well. To help reduce fatigue, we also delivered the WebEx Desk. It has a beautiful 24-inch all-in-one smart display and has powerful AI capabilities like noise removal built right in. and it's available at a super attractive price point that I'm sure you're going to like. Third, as we think about a safe return to the office, we need to reimagine the office itself. For that, we built a brand new category of a device, the WebEx Desk Hub. It makes a shared space become instantly your personal desk. We believe this trend of hot desking is going to be really prevalent as people return back to the office. So just walk up to any desk that's open, put your smartphone on the desk hub, and it instantly recognizes your identity and personalizes the space. It even displays your family photos. And of course, it allows you to join the next meeting effortlessly. But as we talk to more and more customers, there's one more thing you all gave us a lot of feedback on. When some meeting participants are remote and others are together in the office, the remote participants can feel disconnected. They can't always tell what's going on in the room. They might not always feel like they're being heard, which is why I'm thrilled to announce to you People Focus, powered by a technology that we call Camera Insights. Now, it uses machine learning and AI to reframe all meeting participants individually. Let me show you what I mean by this. If you're virtual, it's hard to see everyone spread across a conference room. It's tough to pick up on nuances like body language and facial expressions. With People Focus, we can crop the video to focus on each person individually. This way, remote participants feel more connected. We really look forward to having this delivered to you later this year. Now, as we move into the hybrid work environment, one of the concerns people have had is around health and safety in the workplace. Now, one way we are addressing this is with sensor technology built in natively into the WebEx devices to let you know things like when you're maintaining social distancing from each other or when you're exceeding a room's capacity limits that are approved, so on and so forth. Let's see some other ways Cisco is helping keep people safe in the office. I have a video that I want to show you.
This is Kate, and today Kate is leaving her home office and working from the office. Things have changed a bit since she was last there, but change isn't exactly Kate's thing. She actually never changes anything. Same parking spot, same lunch, same coffee cup. If anyone was going to have a hard time with all these changes, it was going to be Kate.
Okay, WebEx, ask Wayfinding to find me a space to work.
With WebEx, you can see what meeting rooms might be available, automatically book one, and find your way to your room if you happen to be using a new one for the first time ever. And now with Room Navigator, she can even access room controls and start her meeting like never before, because every space has a WebEx assistant.
Hey, WebEx, start my meeting.
Hey, how's the office? I hear a lot has changed.
It has. It's pretty good, actually. I'm actually meaning to show you that.
Two-way whiteboarding makes co-creating possible from everywhere. And when it's time to get back on the move, it's easy to transfer your meeting and keep working.
So as I was saying.
Times have changed, but some of the changes are for the better. Just ask Kate.
You know, I love this video as well. And if you want to learn more about Cisco's solutions for trusted workplace, please make sure to attend our Future of Work innovation session with Javed and Scott later today. I think you'd love what they have to say. Now, finally, a lot of companies talk about productivity, but productivity doesn't happen if you ignore employee well-being. Productivity and well-being are two sides of the same coin. That's why we developed WebEx People Insights. And what exactly is WebEx People Insights, and what does it consist of? People Insights includes personal insights, team insights, and org insights. Today, I'm going to talk to you specifically about personal insights. It's built on a technology called WebEx Graph, and it's all done with an extreme emphasis on protecting an end user's privacy. Because at Cisco, we believe that privacy is a basic human right. And personal insights are designed for you, not your boss. So you can always count on us to honor that privacy for you. For example, it provides insights that help you focus on your most important connections, so you can nurture those relationships over time. Are there people you really want to be spending time with and aren't? Are you being fair with your allocation of time to your team members? Or are you spending time with certain people over others? Personal Insights helps you achieve not just that, but also balance for your well-being. Are you taking too many meetings after regular work hours? Do you have enough blocks of time focused for deep thinking on your calendar? Are you spread too thin with back-to-back meetings? We give you all of these valuable insights to help you control your time and improve your overall well-being. As I said at the start, the future of work is definitively going to be hybrid. No matter where you work, we'll make your experiences working together delightful, immersive, inclusive, and 10x better when you're using WebEx. Now I'd like to turn it over to my dear colleague Maria, who's going to share with you how Cisco has turned up our investments in your success. Thank you again for taking the time.
It is hard to believe that just 1 year ago, our lives changed forever. The pandemic forced us to stop everything we once deemed normal. At the same time, it allows us to start thinking about new ways of living and working. Things that seemed impossible now proven very possible. We've seen so much innovation born out of necessity. We have transformed at an incredible speed. Even for us in the transformation business, this has been a big lesson. I've reflected a lot on this and concluded that the true definition of transformation is when we have ambitious, urgent goals and not enough time or resources. We saw it with the vaccine. It was brought to market in less than 12 months, something that normally will take a full decade. Scientists defied the past to prove the possible. And we're seeing it with digital transformations too, our customers and our very own. Projects that would have taken 2 to 3 years are now completed in a matter of weeks or months. And one by one, you are achieving your ambitious goals. You're reimagining your applications, you're empowering your teams, you're transforming your infrastructure and securing your data to create amazing experiences for your employees and customers. Let's have a look at how we help Westpac, a bank in Australia with over 200 years of experience, do just that.
It was a little bit like climbing Everest and climbing K2 at the same time.
In about 9 months, we've managed to roll out 5,000 physical devices across 944 sites. As a 200-year-old bank, we're really focused on servicing our customers. Modernising our technology infrastructure is a key part of that.
At one point, we had 52 sites a week being deployed, and that is a record in Westpac deployment.
The CX team were integrated into our team and part of our decision process, part of our planning process, and part of our deployment.
Our application performance in the branches went up by 28%. That's huge.
We're now delivering 10 times the bandwidth at 50% of the cost. There now aren't limits to what we could deploy in the branches.
We've got a lot of young talent wanting to join our team because what we're doing is one of a kind right now in Australia.
This is definitely an example of genuine transformation.
You just saw ambitious goals and not enough time. Today, Cisco is actively engaged with over 1,600 customers like Westpac to assist them in their boldest transformations. And our partners extend that reach to many, many more. We have turned up our investments to help you realize your most important and ambitious goals. One area that you have highlighted to us, it's a single, secure way to manage and automate your infrastructure, because time and resources are not on your side. You want a one-stop destination to keep pulse on your infrastructure and access expertise, best practices, insights. Our new CX Cloud delivers just that. So let's take a look at the CX Cloud in action with a live demo from one of our largest, more complex customers, us, Cisco. Joining me on stage is Cisco CIO Jackie, our customer zero. Hello, Jackie.
Hi, Maria. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
And you are right. We are one of Cisco's biggest customers and probably one of the toughest ones as well.
Indeed.
Let me start by saying that, CX Cloud has been a game changer for our team. It really has. 3 things that I'd like to call out. Firstly, single pane of glass, one place to go, and you mentioned that earlier. Secondly, all the security vulnerabilities that we have, being able to see those real time and responding at speed is great. And then the final one is the automation that we've built in to allow us to understand where we have to upgrade and then with a click of a button, upgrade our estate. I mean, that is a game changer, as I mentioned before. But let me show you a little bit about what we've done. So the first thing I'd say is we've got about 102,000 assets, as you know. I'm going to click into Meraki here. I'm sure many of our customers have a Meraki estate. And if I click on Meraki, what you see here is you can see your hardware, your software details, what location it's in, the latest warranty, etc. All the things that people would want to have at their fingertips. And if I move from there, here is where it gets really interesting, campus network. So if I go to the campus network, the first thing I'm going to show you is advisories. You can see on the top line here, we have 66 assets that have priority bugs, that show, where we might have some issues that we need to deal with. That used to take us 3 hours on average per asset. Now it's here, real time. So all that time is saved. The other thing I would say is insights. So if I go to software, for example, this is where it gets real, and I have to remember I am in production, okay? So I'm going into software, and what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to click on one. Let's just take the second last one here. I've got 28 Catalyst 9500 switches where I know by telemetry that's built into the software here that I need to upgrade. It gives me 3 options. It also tells me which is the best option. So if I click select, which I'm not going to do, it's going to take me to DNA Center, and I'll be able to upgrade all those assets real time. I mean, just think about that. It's just incredible. And then the other thing I'll share with you is crash risk. This also tells you, using telemetry, do I have a risk of something crashing? And if so, what should I do about it? So it tells me, take these actions. The good news is, Maria, on this crash risk one, we've taken the action, we have failover, so all is good.
That's great, that's great. So what happens if something is not working and you need help? What do you do?
So we would normally call TAC. We'd normally call TAC, and TAC would answer, and we would log a case. But actually, we can now call someone in TAC with the click of a button. So here we go.
Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Tony, how are you? It's Tony.
Doing well.
Tony, what are you doing in the TAC, Tony?
Once in a while, I'll listen to customers and see how they're using our product.
That's great.
Excellent. I just wanted to thank you for all the great work that you've been doing with our team, Tony. It's incredible.
Yeah, and what's amazing is how you have access to a high-touch operations manager at your fingertips all through this single experience. So we're really excited to have you continue to use the product and leverage this to accelerate your transformation, leverage case management, and collaborate even better. So thank you, Jackie, for being an amazing user of the product.
Thank you. He's being kind because we are tough to him sometimes. Thank you, Tony. Great to see you.
Talk to you soon.
And yeah, he's being modest. I mean, it's just incredible how this has really changed what we do. And Maria, I'll show you one more thing that I think is really good for people to see. 2 things, actually. I was going to say one, but you know me, I get excited. So first thing I'm going to say is security, endpoints for security. You can see here that we can see we've got 160,845 connectors deployed. Every endpoint in Cisco monitored by security, and we can see it right here, which is fantastic. And then the final thing I would say, and you referred to this earlier, when it comes to the training and development of our people, I mean, it's so hard just keeping up to date, Maria, with technology, as you know. And what's beautiful about this is if you go into Lifecycle, you can see here that any engineer has access to either Ask the Expert, one-to-many classes, online training, e-learning, or accelerators, which is a one-to-one focus course. And by the way, I registered to one. You'll see that approval coming into your inbox. I registered to one last Friday, and I'm actually going to be sitting in on that class on Wednesday next week, and I'm looking forward to it. But don't test me.
Okay,
Please
I
don't
will.
test
I
me.
will, though. I will. Okay. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you for
Thanks.
joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
Exciting to see how the new infrastructures of the future are managed now with this new technology, and it's helping us save time, reduce cost, and automate tasks that before would be very tedious and time-consuming. And bottom line is accelerating our transformations. So we're not the only ones that are very excited about the CX Cloud. So I want to share some of the reactions from some of our customers.
Let's get started.
Wow. That's really smart.
That could really mitigate downtime.
This is all that data that Cisco is collecting, and now they're using it to make our lives better. This is awesome.
Having the data in one screen, I think that's going to be game changer.
This is a big deal for us.
I find it just brilliant. When I saw the contracts page and the fact that you can see all the devices and you absolutely need this into your environment.
That's invaluable to us. With CX Cloud, Cisco really brought their game up to a different level.
This week, you'll hear more about our innovative offers that will help you transform your business and create amazing experiences for your employees and your customers. And now, let's hear from Fran about Cisco's commitment to power an inclusive future for all.
Thanks, Maria. And I couldn't agree more. It really is all about creating meaningful human experiences, focusing on our people and our communities around us. Even before the pandemic began, companies had started to redefine stakeholders, looking more at the employee experience, engaging with the communities around them, putting emphasis on their relationships with customers and partners. And suddenly, a focus on shareholder capitalism felt out of touch against the global challenges the world was facing. Companies were realizing their responsibility to do more. With that in mind, in early 2020, Cisco set out to define a new purpose for our company, one that would reflect our ambition to truly have an impact on the communities within and outside of Cisco, a purpose that would be inclusive of all peoples, all societies, and have a positive impact on our planet, that would leverage our technology to democratize access and inclusion for people everywhere. And we began this process without knowing the reality that we were about to face in 2020. We didn't know that a global pandemic would make us more separated from one another than ever before, but also require us to care for each other more than ever before. That teachers would have to adapt their teaching styles to virtually educate our children, and that our children would have to find the resilience to adapt as well. That we would come to rely not just on doctors and nurses, but also grocery store workers and food providers as frontline workers. This hits close to home. My father, who was a grocery store manager, is so proud of the role they've played this last year, of the role so many people have played. And while working from home and cutting out our commutes may have had a positive impact on our collective carbon footprint, the climate crisis continued on. Forest fires raged throughout the world. Devastating storms hit in places that had never experienced the likes of them before. And drought continued to contribute to the starvation of vulnerable communities. And against the backdrop of all of this, a newfound reckoning on injustice was coming about. On the heels of violence and discrimination, people stood up and spoke out on behalf of the marginalized, on behalf of communities who were feeling terrified and attacked and unsafe. It was a time when a mirror was held up to ourselves and required us to ask the tough questions. What do we value? Who do we value? How do we treat one another? 2020 was a lot. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that this was a year unlike any other, one that tested and challenged us as individuals and as organizations. I remember right after the tragic death of George Floyd, Chuck reached out to me and to Jerry and said, "We have to postpone Cisco Live." He didn't wait. He didn't hesitate. He acted, and he was right. It was a time for courageous leadership, a time to stand up for what we as a company believed in. And we knew what we believed in. We had already said it in our purpose. At Cisco, our purpose is to power an inclusive future for all. And at that very moment, living out our purpose was the most important thing. And we knew that this purpose could not be achieved in a silo. Partnership is vital. Soon after the pandemic hit, we came together with amazing partners like Worldwide Technologies, E+, Randstad, just to name a few, to talk about what we were doing, all of us, to support our people and our communities. And there was magic in those conversations. There was a realization that if we worked together, we could do so much more. This helped guide how Cisco responded. We focused on the most vulnerable, families and communities, research and resilience, and strategic recovery. But we know that there's so much more work to do. Studies show that over 88 million additional people will be pushed into extreme poverty due to the pandemic. Think about that, 88 million. And the reality that extreme poverty means living on less than $1.90 a day, it must compel us to take action. As Chuck shared yesterday, we have set out a goal to positively impact 1 billion people by 2025, and we're well on our way. But we know we can't stop there. Authentically living out our purpose requires more than just an inclusive recovery, but a commitment to inclusion always. To power an inclusive future for all, we must be a bridge to possible.
Where will you be in 5 years? Where will we be in 5 years? In 25? In 50? Let's be here and here, with her and him and they. Let's connect them. Let's connect everyone. Let's deliver technology that gives them access to power opportunity. Let's set a new standard for data security and personal privacy. Let's change the system. Promote equality and fairness in the workplace. Let's tear down the barriers to social justice for a more inclusive world. Let's clean house, zero carbon, zero waste. Because the health of our family is tied to the future of our home. Let's gather resources and partners, steer toward our greatest challenges and accelerate. For the benefit, for all. Cisco has made it its purpose to power an inclusive future for all. Where will we be in 50 years? Let's go see. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
I love that video. I love how it captures the spirit of what we're aiming to achieve, the power of our purpose. But for this purpose to truly have impact, for it to be more than a catchphrase, we have to embed it in everything we do, allowing it to be the framework that drives our innovation and our work with an eye towards this higher goal. To achieve our purpose, we have to deliver the technology that securely powers the world's connectivity. Yesterday, when Jonathan spoke about Internet for the Future, he spoke about bridging the digital divide. Today, over 3.7 billion people remain unconnected. Cisco is going to work with public sector agencies and service providers to extend digital access to the unconnected, democratize technology, and advocate for continued broadband investment. But as we do this, we know that privacy and security are more important than ever before. So Cisco will establish a higher standard, protecting connections and personal data as more and more people around the world connect digitally in their personal and their professional lives. Something we know is that our purpose is not authentic unless it includes everyone. We must boldly take action to drive fairness, inclusion, and access to opportunity. What exactly does that mean? It means preparing the workforce for the future of work by equipping individuals everywhere with the next generation skills. It means creating a workplace culture, a conscious culture, that is people first. It means cultivating leaders who will drive this culture by getting proximate to their teams and understanding what works best for each individual. At Cisco, this is embodied in our belief that empathy is a superpower, and leaders who wield this superpower make the best leaders. It means creating technology and tools that allow for inclusive participation regardless of ability or economic status. And it means breaking systemic barriers to human rights and racial justice, transforming justice systems to inclusively protect the rights of all, and guaranteeing everyone's ability to get to the public square for their voices to be heard. But none of this will matter if we don't protect the future of our planet. An inclusive future is one that takes future generations into account, where our planet's resources are used sustainably so both people and ecosystems can thrive for years to come. We have to come together to reverse the advance of climate change and the adverse effect it has on our world and our people, particularly the most vulnerable. At Cisco, we are committed to ensuring a sustainable and regenerative future for our planet. Watch for big announcements in the coming months as we tackle the climate challenge with meaningful, measurable steps towards carbon neutral net zero emissions. We will invest in solutions and technologies to catalyze progress because it's essential that we change outcomes to secure our planet's health. So how are we going to do all of this? We know we can't do it alone. To be a catalyst and multiplier to scale impact for all, others have to be part of this purpose. We have to mobilize ecosystems to enable collective action across the private sector, governments, multilaterals, and social sector organizations. We have to drive impact with digital and tech-enabled solutions across our suppliers, our business, and our customers. In order to succeed in powering an inclusive future for all, it has to be done with all, and it has to be done by all. In order for us to succeed in powering an inclusive future for all, we need you to be a part of it. We know this purpose is ambitious. That's the point. What the world needs right now is organizations and leaders and people, individuals like you and me, who are going to be ambitious about doing good in the world, about leveraging their power and their platform to positively impact the lives of others. And when we turn up our purpose, when we turn up our partnership, that's when we turn up our impact. The inclusive future is waiting for us. Let's go meet it together.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you for your leadership and that clear call to action. And thanks again to G2, Maria, and Jackie for the great presentations. Okay, so that's a wrap on the Cisco Live keynotes. 3 quick points before you join your sessions. First, even though Cisco Live closes later today, the learning continues. We are making the full library of Cisco Live content, which is more than 450 total sessions, available through July 2nd. Second, there has never been a better time to be in technology, and Cisco is committed to being the best possible partner as you move forward. I hope you felt that this week. And if you didn't, drop us a line and tell us how we can do better. And lastly, thank you. We started the keynotes with that, and we'll end with it. This pandemic has been an incredibly challenging time, but it's also been a stark reminder to count our blessings. Cisco is so grateful for this community. We are grateful for the trust you place in us, for the ways you challenge us and push us forward. We're grateful for your talent and for the impact you have in your companies and in your communities. The opportunity in front of us is clear. Our ability to have an impact on the world and create a more inclusive future for all has never been stronger. But it's going to take all of us. As the last year has shown, there's absolutely nothing we can't do if we do it together. We have the vision, we have the technology, and more importantly, we have all of you. We've got a full day of education, inspiration, and celebration ahead. Enjoy the sessions, and please stay well and safe.
Hello, and welcome to Day 2 Cisco Live here in Asia Pacific, Japan, and China. Namaste.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Sawadee-kap.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Salamat pagi.
I'm Ray Kloss.
And I'm Seema Hine, and I hope you're all super excited for Day 2. So what did you think of the keynote, Ray?
I'm inspired. Seema, I just find it so inspiring to focus on this inclusive future for all. And I'm so inspired by how all the technology innovations actually support that and enable that. And so there's so much to see today. What did you love, Seema?
Oh, I just loved all the announcements about the WebEx and the features. Over 400 features. How amazing is that? So I can't even wait to get my hands on all of that. So I just want to thank everyone, firstly, for being on the Innovation Channel. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, we're offering translations in 7 languages. And it was really great to see yesterday all of our friends in Japan posting on social media telling us how much they loved it. And also, just a reminder, if you want the full immersive experience, make sure you upgrade to a full access pass. And you can do that by going to ciscolive.com/2021. So Ray, I'm going to ask you this question. What was the favourite part of your day yesterday?
Well, Seema, I loved it when Chuck put it to us, that great challenge. He said, the world is ours to shape. And then following up deeper into that keynote yesterday, I loved when Jonathan Davidson asked all of us the question, all of us on this broadcast, how do we connect the next 1 billion people to the digital experiences that are available to us on our world, on our planet? That was super exciting for me. What did you love?
Well, yeah, you're right. I think that was the most announcements I've heard at a Cisco Live. But the thing that I really, really loved was the keynote, the guest speakers. I loved Mike Walsh. And really that concept of the mind grenades, I'm definitely going to be using that one. And weren't the performances phenomenal? I mean, I was just blown away at how Pentatonics were able to harmonise virtually over our technology. Real game changer. So we've got some other great guest speakers today and artists, so make sure you stay tuned, but you will have to switch over to the Leadership Channel. And I also want to make sure that you all know that if you want to join the conversation on social media, please do that at #CiscoLive, and also make sure you tag us with @CiscoLive APJC. Now, Ray, what have we got in store for the rest of today?
Oh, thanks, Seema. Hey, everyone out there, we've got another packed day today. I hope you're ready. And hey, to the great production team, let's run that agenda. So coming up next, we're going to hear a deeper dive on WebEx and all the enhancements in WebEx, which we've been hearing about in the keynotes. We're going to go deep on that cloud experience. So we had a fabulous demo from Jackie Guccialeri in the opening keynote today around how Cisco is running on CX Cloud. And we're going to see all that in the agenda coming up. Actually, if we can, let's, to the production team, can we roll the second agenda item? And so this is going to show us the second part of the day. We're going to look at the future of wireless and making those decisions between Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, security, some great sessions and content for small business. And then between innovation and customer value, there's a bridge. That session's all about our partners. Really encouraging you to watch that one. Our partners do amazing things to help you get real advantage and innovation out of all that we do. So, hey, I hope you enjoy that. The agenda coming up, there's some great sessions. There's live demonstrations in all of that. And to me, I really want to call out, if you see a demo you really love, make sure you get down to the world of solutions. If this is your first time on our broadcast, I really encourage you to be on ciscolive.com/2021. Let me do that again for you. ciscolive.com/2021. That is the URL for where you get the full experience. And in there, there's a place, you can see it, there's a place as you scroll down called the World of Solutions. That's our digital exhibition. I've never seen us do anything like this